virtual press conference. This is the virtual undercard press conference for Garcia versus Benavidez. And on Saturday, July 30th, Showtime Championship Boxing is going to bring you an explosive night of boxing from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. I'm Brian Custer, the host of Showtime Boxing. The main event features a former two-division champion, Danny Garcia, making his return to the ring after a 1.5-year hiatus. And he's fighting at a new weight, 154 pounds. Garcia will be taking on Jose Benavidez, who is, of course, the older brother of two-time WBC super middleweight champion David Benavidez. That is the main event. Now, tickets for this live event, which is being promoted by TGB Promotions, DSG Promotions as well, on sale now. They can be purchased at SeatGeek.com and BarclaysCenter.com. You can also purchase your tickets at the American Express box office at Barclays Center. And, of course, this entire event is brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions. But this is the undercard press conference. And that our broadcast, Showtime Championship Boxing broadcast, is going to start that night on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. That is 6 o'clock Pacific time. Now, you're also going to see in the co-main that Polish star, that Brooklyn brawler. He is an all-action fighter, Adam Kownacki. He's returning to the ring as well, and he's going to take on the Turkish Olympian, Ali Eren Demirezen. It's a 10-round heavyweight attraction. You'll also see the unbeaten rising star at 140 pounds, Gary Antuanne Russell. He's going to take on the former two-division champion, Rances Barthelemy, in a 10-round showdown. That's going to kick off the broadcast. You're going to hear from some of those fighters here today. We're going to hear from Barthelemy. We're going to hear from Russell. We're going to hear from Kownacki. And if you, members of the media, have questions for any of these fighters, all you have to do is hit the raise my hand icon there on your Zoom, and we will allow you to ask questions to these gentlemen as well. So let's get right into this, and let's start with the co-main, because the co-main, again, you got Adam Kownacki, 20-2. He's got 15 knockouts, taking on Demirezen, who is also a knockout artist himself. He only has one loss. Adam, I'll start with you. Listen, I know you're coming off of back-to-back stoppage losses to Robert Helenius. You're facing a guy who's won 5 straight fights. How important is this fight to your career right now?
I think it's the biggest fight right now. It's a fight I have to win if I want to stay relevant in the heavyweight division. And I'm really focused. I've been training very hard, so I can't go in there, back home, and get that win. July 30th.
Keith Trimble is, of course, the trainer of Adam Kownacki. And Keith, when you looked at, let's say, the tape, what have you guys concentrated on and maybe done differently in this camp to make sure you get a winning result come July 30th?
We just got to get back to really working behind the jab and defense, the head movement, just not getting lackadaisical. So, you're going to see hopefully a lot better footwork, a lot of movement, and working behind that jab.
Adam, tell us why, in your opinion, this fight is going to be different from the past couple of fights we've seen you in.
So, as you know, I had 2 kids, the past 2 years were very life-changing for me. I mean, for the best in my personal life, but my personal life was a little bit different, I couldn't have everything and a cherry on top, I had to make some sacrifices. So for this fight, I'm definitely isolated from my family. It's been, hard. I'm missing them for 6 weeks. They were in Poland, so I missed them, but, I'm doing this just to stay focused and make sure I come out victorious July 30th.
And Adam, this is a question. Let me just be straight. Do you believe that Adam Kownacki is still one of the elite heavyweights in the sport?
I wouldn't be doing this if I thought otherwise. Luckily, I've been, I invested money right, so I don't have to do this. I want to be the first Polish world champion. That's why I do this. I couldn't afford anybody else. I mean, I have a great team behind me, so we could have took an easier fight. But I want to fight the best guys out there, and I think beating Ali puts me back in the mix because he beat some top guys, and beating him puts me back where I want to be.
Mm-hmm. And Keith, that's the same question to you. Can you tell us why you believe that Adam Kownacki is still one of the elite heavyweights in the sport?
I think his mind is just in the right, he has the right mind frame right now. We had those setbacks, but moving forward, like he just said, he could be doing other things. It comes down to a mental thing, and he wants to be the best in the world. Of course, hey, all the allocates come with it, the money, the this, the that, but he truly wants to be that first Polish heavyweight champion, world champion. And, he has other reasons than just for the money. He wants to really be a world champion. So, listen, at the end of the day in this sport, you're only as good as your last fight. You're 20-0, you're riding on top of the world. The bottom line is, you lose a fight, you lose 2 fights. You know how everybody is. Everybody wants to shit on you. So we got a lot to prove. He has a lot to prove. I have all the belief in him. I know he can win this fight. And I know he can be a world champion. So we just got to take it one step at a time. Don't got to force anything and rush anything. Just go in there and take care of July 30th and move on from there.
Adam, you're back home basically in Brooklyn, Barclays Center. You've had some really big wins in that arena. Tell me, what is it? How do you feel being back at Barclays Center, being back in Brooklyn, fighting in front of what's going to be a home crowd for you?
Yeah, it's going to be a red and white arena. A lot of Polish people are going to come out, support me. A lot of, I moved to Miami, so a lot of people from Long Island come out, support me. It's going to be a great night. I can't wait to be back in there and New York. But this is the first major card back in Barclays Center, or second, right? So yeah, so Gervonta Davis, so it's the second big card back in Barclays Center. So I can't wait, to be back in there.
That's fantastic. And of course, that's the co-main that comes your way on Showtime Championship Boxing on July 3rd. And then, as I said earlier, the broadcast begins at 9, and we got one heck of a fight because you've got Gary Antuanne Russell taking on Rances Barthelemy. Barthelemy, former world champion, 29-1-1, taking on Gary Antuanne Russell. Russell, 15-0. All 15 of his victories, folks, have come inside the distance. He has stopped them all. And of course, his trainer is also his brother, the former WBC featherweight champion of the world, Gary Russell Jr. Antuanne, let me start with you because I think I speak for everybody who is on this Zoom, everybody who's watching this Zoom. You have our heartfelt condolences coming off the loss of your father, who was so well respected. Just a gentle giant and a guy who many in this sport just loved. I definitely have to send our condolences to you, my brother.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
He cornered the market when it came to a lot of things, not just as a coach, not just as a parent, but as a friend, a leader, a teacher, and so forth and so forth. And we don't want to let anything go in vain. So we kind of keep this legacy going on. He knew what he was doing when he built this machinery of the Russell family, the Russell legacy. Longest reigning WBC champion in history. 2008 Olympian. I'm an Olympian. Had former other Olympians, etc. And that was all off of raw strength, raw IQ that he even picked up along the way. And he gave us a cerebral type of insight on not just the world, but boxing. And we're going to take it and run with it at this point. We always been. We just got to keep the torch going.
Let me follow up on that, Antuanne, because I remember we had your last fight in February on Showtime. And at that time, you were fighting with a heavy heart because your father was going through some medical issues at that point. How difficult is this fight now, considering he's gone?
I think this is, I told myself, this is a true coming out for me. You know, I've been having battles. I believe my family all been having battles. A year first, I would say, you know, just a lot of things that was happening for the first time. We dealt with a lot of family issues, as families usually do, you know, but like I said, it was a lot of things that was the first time we dealt with things. We lost a brother in our immediate, you know, it was a while since we lost one of the immediate brothers. Yet alone my father, he had surgery before on his knee when he went hunting, blew his knee bone out. But this time he got his foot cut off completely. That was the first. Next thing you know, he had his toe cut off completely. Now we wheeling him around in a wheelchair permanently. He got a prosthetic leg permanently. These are things that I considered as a year first. And now he's gone, you know. And I believe that was just part of life cycle, you know. Life has a road that demands not just excelment, but evolution. And that's part of life. Evolution is we get born, we grow old, and we die. You know, and like he passed these seasons, and it's gonna be our time someday. So, like I said, we're gonna carry this legacy that he left with us, this information he left with us, the love and the intelligence, and etc., and the foundation that he created for us. And we're gonna keep it going.
Let me follow up on that, and with your trainer, Gary, right there. Gary, what has this been like for you now? Because you're the patriarch of the family. Now you're the main trainer, not only for Antuanne, but Antonio as well. What has that been like for you?
Honestly, I've been falling right in suit. It's something that I've always been doing anyway. I've always was staying side by side with my father, helping, coaching my younger brothers, and etc. It's more easier for me because I feel as though that if a parent doesn't prepare their offsprings for life outside of them or life after them, you know, they have failed you. You know, my father didn't fail us in no way, shape, or form. You know, I feel as though we're 110% prepared for whatever comes our way, and he's equipped us with the skill set and tools and abilities to think our way through whatever it is. So we focus, man. We using this thing as fuel. Nothing would go in vain. Let's get it.
I like it. Rances Barthelemy, you are fighting one heck of a young lion in Russell. Talk to me about your thoughts of taking on this young, unbeaten fighter who obviously, you know, he's going to be fighting with a heavy heart considering he just lost his father who's been, you know, the family trainer.
Bueno, Rances, vas a estar enfrentándote a un león joven, a un león invicto, que además lamentablemente llega con el corazón hecho trizas porque se le murió el papá. Entonces, contame cómo son tus sensaciones de cara a esta pelea y también lo que significa para vos.
No, primero que todo quiero darle mi más sentido pésamo a la familia Russell, ¿no? Porque una vez tuve la oportunidad de pelear allá en su ciudad natal y presencié con mis propios ojos lo unidos que son. Sé que todos los rusos deben estar sintiendo esta partida, pero nada, no pienso en que eso sea una ventaja, ¿no? No tomo que eso sea una ventaja. Espero que mi oponente, el ruso en este caso, llegue en la mejor forma. Es difícil pensar que no le puede afectar, pero bueno, espero que esté el 100%. Y nada, agradecido con Showtime por darme la oportunidad nuevamente de estar en una gran cartelera, ya que tengo una deuda grande con ellos. Después de mi pelea con Robert Easter, creo que me dejó un sabor amargo
y creo que frente a Russell puedo reivindicar de nuevo, reivindicarme con respecto a los fanáticos.
Well, first of all, let me send my deepest condolences to the Russell family. Gary, I know that you and your family were and are very united, and you guys are very close. And I'm so sorry for what happened to you. I remember being there in your city and seeing how close you guys were. So, my heart goes out to you. As far as the fight itself, I don't see Gary's situation as being something that's advantageous to me. I hope that you, Gary, you can be 100% and give your all so we can give the fans a great fight. And I also have to redeem myself. I have a very bitter feeling from the previous fight, and I'm very thankful to Showtime for giving me this opportunity and allowing me to showcase what I can do to redeem myself and to show the fans that I'm still here and ready to take what's mine.
Hey, Antuanne, can you give us a sense of how maybe this camp then has been different from, let's say, camps in the past where your father was there? How has this one been different?
As far as the training methods, is no different. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we try to do everything as the same as usual. The only difference to me is that he's not here. My dad isn't here. The voice, the foul language here and there for inspiration, it ain't there. We got to go off of what he left us with up to this point, and we got to keep sharpening our tools because that source isn't there no more. He's not there saying, "Hey, your toe ain't twisting all the way on your hook. You ain't raising all the way up on your body shot. Make sure you throw this combination right after you come off with this combination." We done picked up on those type of tweaks and viewpoints as years came by. And that was due to his teachings and muscle memory and things we done retained. But he's not here in this camp. And by that being the case, it's like we got to use all of the tools and remember all of the things that he told us so we can catapult ourselves forward or keep things going forward, period. We can't step back at this point. If we step back, that means everything he done taught us and all the sacrificing he done did for us and all the sacrificing we done did for ourselves and then some will be in vain.
Got it.
It'll be us working backwards. So that's the only drastic change that's really been in forefront in this camp. As far as training, we're going to busting our tails like usual. Birthdays, 4th of July, probably, we will be in here. So it's never been no true change in our regiment when it comes to training in the gym or preparing for a fight as far as preparation.
What do you think, Gary, Antuanne, what do you think a win over Barthelemy does for you?
It just brings me closer to my family goal. We always had an initial goal. And we just been knocking at it step by step, all of us, individually. But we are completing things and accomplishing things collectively as a whole, as we should, and beating this opponent, this caliber opponent. He's not a slouch. Like, I don't look at any of my opponents as a slouch. Everybody is dangerous with those size gloves on, and no headgears. Anyone can have a puncher's chance at that point. It'll get me closer to that family goal, like I said. And my main goal, me as an individual, I just want to wipe out the division. I want to wipe out the division. I want to have all the titles. I told you I'm a superstar. I told the world I'm a superstar. I'm just very humble. And it's things that people need to know because, like I said before, life demands evolution. And evolution to show you that you can get wisdom from all ages and sizes. So I'm just spreading my wisdom, spreading my talent, showcasing my talent, and definitely gonna flourish in my goal. The benefits that my goal gonna bring, because at the 140 division, the sky's the limit. I'm almost there.
Got it. Rances, same question to you. Gary Antuanne says he wants to take out the division. What do you believe a win over Gary Antuanne Russell does for you in your career?
Bueno, Rances, Gary Antuanne lo que él quiere, como con una victoria contra vos, es que sea un trampolín para después barrer a la división entera. En tu caso, ¿qué crees que puede hacer por vos el ganarle a Gary Antuanne de cara al futuro?
Nada, quiero reivindicarme, ¿no? Tengo ese sueño de lo todavía no se me ha quitado de la cabeza, como llevo años repitiéndolo, de ser el primer campeón en 3 divisiones. Primero me queda Antuanne. Tengo ese gran sueño que no me dejan, a veces pierdo el sueño pensando en eso, pensando si lo lograré o no lo lograré. Y creo que cuando un hombre tiene un gran sueño y una meta y una idea y sabe dónde viene y sabe para dónde va, creo que la cosa está difícil, pero bueno, respeto a Antuanne, es un joven muchacho, yo también tuve su edad, tuve su ambición, la tengo aún todavía, tengo mucha ambición, quizás tenga igual o el mismo hambre que él, y nada, el día, el 30 de julio, se sabrá quién dará un paso atrás y quién continuará, quién estará más cerca de lograr sus metas.
I respect Gary Antuanne. He is young. I used to be as young as he was and having that same hunger that he does now. And I still have that hunger, that much, if not more than he does now. And I have 2 things in my head right now. The first one, like I said before, redemption. I need to redeem myself, no matter what. The second one is that this doesn't let me sleep. It's that I want to become the first 3 division champion from Cuba. That is my obsession. I pace around the room sometimes just thinking about it and how bad I want to accomplish it. But first, I got to take care of things on July 30th. We're going to put on a great show, and hopefully things will start getting on the way for what I really, really want to accomplish.
Fantastic. Martin, I want you I'm going to read what Rances Barthelemy said to the boxing scene, and I want you to get his take on this, because in the boxing scene, Rances Barthelemy said, quote, he's talking about you, Gary Antuanne, he's knocked out every opponent he's faced, but he's going to find out real quick that I'm on another level. I'm more than determined than ever to take this young kid to school. Don't be surprised if I take him out, as I've been working on my power and my explosiveness. The new and improved version of myself is what he's going to see on July 30th in Brooklyn. Can you ask him if he still stands by that statement?
Muy bien. Entonces, Rances, vos le dijiste a Boxing Scene que Gary, sí, sabe, no quiere, pero que vos lo vas a llevar a la escuela, que le vas a enseñar de lo que sos capaz y de que, es más, vos podés ser el que lo va a noquear a él, no viceversa. ¿Todavía estás firme con lo que le dijiste a Boxing en ese momento? ¿Cómo te sentís al respecto?
Claro, no, eso es dejándole saber de que tengo hambre todavía, porque mucha gente piensa que ya como tengo cierta edad, cierta veteranía, que a lo mejor el hambre se me ha quitado, porque he bajado ese fuego y esos sueños, pero no, con esa respuesta que le di a Boxing, quiero dejarle saber que todavía me siento hambriento, me siento falta de logro, me faltan muchas cosas por lograr, y creo que en esa respuesta que le di a Boxing, quiero dejarle saber de que todavía estoy para dar guerra en el boxeo.
The reason I said that to Boxing Scene is because people, they seem to think that I'm old, that I'm over the hill, that I have nothing left to give, or that I'm not hungry anymore. And it's completely the opposite. I'm as hungry as ever. So I wanted to emphasize that point, that I still strive for more, that I still want more, and I want everybody to know that I am still capable of so much more than many seem to think I am.
And so, Gary Antuanne, I guess my question to you is the part that I found surprising. He says that, quote, I'm on another level. I'm going to take him to school, and don't be surprised if I take him out. What's your response?
It's everyone's plan. That's everyone's plan. You know, Mike Tyson said it best. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. If you don't come into the ring in this profession with some type of confidence or a game plan, you shouldn't be in this profession. I honestly, he should be saying some harmful, manly things like that, especially dealing with this profession. But like I said, my goal, my mentality hasn't changed. This is just another stepping stone for me. I've always said that I grade myself, even on the outside looking in, people say, oh man, you did a good job. I still, on television, I say, nah, I give myself a C, a D, a plus, because I set the bar for myself high, very high. That's just how I've been raised. You know, to his quote, I gave a quote. I said something about deforestation. It's just a phase that shows that there's a lot of growth left still there. You know, a lot of people don't know what deforestation is. And I mentioned that because my father, he raised us as a unit. Trees don't grow alone. You know, deforestation is a method and a word to get used when they hacking down the forest to set up shop for whatever establishment there is about to be placed there. Trees are studs. They're not dead. They are studs. They are still alive, well alive. They just send their energy, the food, nutrition to other trees so they can grow. We them seeds. My father ain't, he just dissipated into us. He been living his life through us as long as he been alive. So that's why I use that whole saying to the people that don't understand. Now that I broke it down, now y'all understand. You know, but like I said, he better have something manly to say. If he didn't, I wouldn't respect it as a man. You know, so as my response to that, hey, everybody got a plan till they get punched in the face, and I definitely got a plan.
I know there's members of the media who want to ask you guys questions. Before I turn it over there to members of the media, Gary, I see you sitting there. I know you had the procedure on your shoulder. Yeah, I'm sure people, the journalists want to know, when will we see Mr. Gary Russell Jr. back in the ring, and will it be this year, the end of this year?
Like I say, I got the surgery April 1st. I'm recovering. I'm in recovery. I'm doing a lot of physical therapy. I'm doing aggressive physical therapy.
There we go. That's
all I can say, man. I've been doing physical therapy. It's been very aggressive. You know, it was a serious injury. I tore the tendon connected to the rotator cuff. But as of now, I got good range of motion and etc. I'm focused on my younger brother. And getting some aggressive physical therapy and in the process of this training camp.
Love it. Okay, I know there's members of the media who want to ask you guys some questions, so we're going to do that. All you have to do is hit the raise your hand icon there on the Zoom. And Flo Joku from our Showtime Sports Communications division will acknowledge you, and then you can ask your question to the fighters. So, Flo, I'm going to turn it over to you so they can ask their questions to the fighters.
Thanks, Brian. So as a reminder, please raise your hand if you want to ask the question. And when I call your name, please unmute yourself. Okay, so the first question is going to come from Jorge Ebra from El Nuevo Herald. Jorge.
Hello, Flo. Hello, everybody. Una pregunta en español para Rances. Rances, cuéntame un poquito la motivación principal de esta pelea. Mucho tiempo fuera y bueno, un rival que todo el mundo piensa, o la empresa espera que va a ser una estrella futura. ¿Cómo tú ves esto de que quieran utilizarte, lo digo en buena forma, como un peldaño para la carrera de este muchacho?
No, más bien que todo, yo lo veo como una oportunidad, ¿no? Después de lo que sucedió en mi última gran pelea contra Robert Easter, creo que me quedé a deber mucho con el mundo del boxeo, ¿no? Y lo veo como una gran oportunidad que no voy a desperdiciar.
Gracias, hermano.
Well,
Marky.
thank you, Jorge. The question was, how does Rances feel about being quote unquote used by this fight for kind of a stepping stone for a young star like Gary Anthony Russell, who's seen as a future superstar? And Rances answered that he doesn't see it like that. It's not that I see it as me being used as a stepping stone, but rather I see it as an opportunity, because I can show that I can redeem myself after that last fight that I had, which left a very, very sour taste in my mouth, and that I can still be someone that can be counted on in this division and that can still make history out there. Go ahead, Flo, with the next question.
Next question will come from Peter, Fight News. Peter, please unmute yourself.
Hi, question. May I have a question to Keith? Is Keith still on the line, Keith Trimble?
Keith left. Keith has to go away.
Okay, she has to go away. Adam, so I'm going to ask you, although I'm sure you are already sick of seeing me every week, couple of times a week. Question for you. After those 2 losses to Helenius, was it the time that we start thinking like, maybe this is not it, maybe this is not me, this is not going to happen for me? Because you never wanted to be just the guy who fights and makes some money. For you, it was like the bigger things in store. Mentally, did you ever thought maybe this is it?
Never. I mean, I always go out and do my best. Try to conquer the world. You know, when I started boxing, I was old. My goal was to win the New York Golden Gloves. I did it my first year, and to win a world title. I mean, that goal. Like I said, and that's what I'm doing. You know, and I think the road back. I mean, it was a good 20 fights. I hit a little bump in the road, but July 30th, it's back on the right track, and getting that win, and hopefully to get a title shot within a year or two. You know, I'm in great hands with Heyman and PBC, so I know they'll help me make it happen.
Thank you. The next question will come from James Bell. James, please unmute yourself.
All right. This question is for Mr. Gary Antuanne Russell. Your brother, Mr. Gary Russell Jr., has his quote, you know, boxing is intellect manifested in a physical form. And in most cases, the more intelligent fighter wins the fight. 5 years ago at MGM National Harbor, you had your debut in a card with him against Oscar Escandón. And also, Rances Barthelemy did face Carl Relic in that card. I was there. Could you talk about how your intelligence has, you know, pretty much developed from 5 years ago until now?
Still working on it. Hey, and it's crazy. I'm glad you asked that, because this response don't just go out to you, it go out to everybody. Something I learned based off of being a child of my father, of Gary Russell Sr. As long as you are alive and on the face of this planet, there's no cap to learning. There's no cap at all to learn. You know, so whenever you reach a point to yourself, within yourself, where as though you say, I done learned all I need to know. I done learned it all. You might as well hang up the gloves and find a new profession, especially in this profession, because you're going to face a lot of opponents that bring different elements, different styles, different tenacities, and different creativity. And you're going to have to deal with it. And it's your job to come up with a formula or solution to harness all of that and come out victorious, make it look good, and etc. You know, so from 5 years ago, I've learned a hell of a lot, you know, and I'm still learning. Still learning. It ain't gonna stop until I leave this planet myself, you know, no matter how old I get.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, James. The next question comes from Ismail Abdusalim. Ismail, please unmute yourself.
Thank you. This question is for Gary Russell, Gary Antuanne Russell, excuse me. So one thing that we notice with elite athletes, they get to a certain point where the game slows down for them, where everything kind of comes together. With you being the first person to stop Victor Postol, do you feel you've reached that point now where the boxing game is kind of slowing down for you in the ring and there's nothing that you haven't seen before that you can handle?
Yeah. Nah, it's still a business. The business go through a process of phases. You got broke and then you got broken. And both of those happens within a phase of business, broken. It ain't no coming back. That means the business is shut down and they relocate and going somewhere else, change their business to something else. But broke is something everybody go through. Slow down is something that every business go through. I really wouldn't say a slow down. To me, I just say it's a process of the business. The business side that really don't get talked about. Yes, everything continue to get cycled. And the ones that deserve to get in the position that they're in, they get in their position based off of winning. I've been doing that. I'm pretty sure there's others that's been doing that on the other side of my bracket. And we just haven't met because time hasn't arrived yet. But this slow down is a part of the process.
Thank you very much. And last question, if I have time, for Adam Kownacki. I just wanted to ask you, your trainer mentioned that you're going back to the basics, more jabs, more additional footwork. These are things, of course, I know you've learned before, but getting back to those basics, which one has been the most challenging as far as getting that jab going again, or has it been the footwork, getting back to being able to move around the ring and not just brawl and overcome people with your power?
I think the footwork. I remember being in camp with Vladimir Klitschko, and I was like, wow, this guy has amazing footwork. And he had really good footwork. And I started practicing more and more, and I just got away from it, I know I could take a punch, so I just, I know I could stand there and just, go blow for blow, and usually, well, for the most part of my career, I was able to come up on top. The past two fights, didn't end up that way, so now I gotta go back to the drawing board and figure it out, and start going back to the basics and the footwork, double jab, and if I want to take to the next step, that's what I gotta do.
Thank you very much. Best of luck to you and Gary on fight night.
Thank you.
Thanks. Two more questions. The next question from Hector Cantu. Hector, please unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. My question is in Spanish. It's for Rances, please. Rances, quisiera preguntarte, ¿cómo cambió tu preparación para esta pelea, considerando que Russell es un noqueador nato, que lleva un récord perfecto, y cómo no entrar en su juego dentro del cuadrilátero? Gracias.
Bueno, hemos trabajado en la parte física, Y acá sabemos que es un peleador que es joven, potente, que tiene que es explosivo. Entonces estamos trabajando muy duro en la parte física para poder aguantar todos los embates que lance Rosa.
The question was by Hector, how have you changed up your preparation considering the caliber of the opponent that you're about to face? And Rances was saying that I changed the way that I worked on my conditioning. I really put emphasis on it because I need to be able to withstand each and every single hit that someone young and explosive and strong like him is going to bring my way.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks, Hector. And the last question comes from Adriana Noruega. Adriana, please unmute yourself.
Hi, good morning. First question is for Gary Antuanne. First of all, my condolences to you and your entire family. My heart goes out to you guys. I'm interested in knowing, obviously your record speaks for itself, an impeccable record, but what's the goal? What's the statement, the message you're looking to send out on fight night?
The goal is to come out victorious. The message that I'm trying to make willing to make, shooting to make is definitely intellect. Will win every time. And it's a legacy that we definitely gonna keep chugging on, tugging on, and pushing on. Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. So my living the present is you see now we're in the gym. We're still going towards our normal goal. Y'all be tuned. Coming to rock early.
That's good. Thank you, Champ. And my next question is for Rances. Rances, obviously, you come into this fight with a ton of experience. You know, you're still trying to show that you still have a lot more left in the tank. What would a victory on Fight Night mean to you? ¿Qué significaría una victoria para ti, Rances, poder tomar esta victoria en esta etapa de tu carrera?
Repite la pregunta que se me conectó el carro y no pude escucharla.
¿Qué significaría una victoria en esta pelea, en esta etapa de tu carrera? ¿Qué podría, cómo te ayudaría en tu carrera una victoria?
Me acercaría una victoria sobre Antuanne, me pondría más cerca de mi sueño, ¿no? Que es tratar de alcanzar ese tercer y anhelado tercer título. Y creo que es una gran oportunidad que voy a luchar, voy a dejar hasta la última gota de sangre y sudor ahí arriba del ring, porque creo que ya el tiempo se está acabando y tengo que aprovechar lo poco que me queda.
I need this win to reach the goal that I crave the most, that third title, to make history for Cuba, for myself, and to achieve what I know I don't have that much time left to achieve. Time is running out. I need to go out there and leave blood, sweat, and tears inside the ring to make sure that I can achieve my dreams, my goals, and everything that I want to accomplish.
Thank you,
Gracias.
Martin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Martin, Rances, Adam, Gary. Now, Brian, throwing it back to you.
Okay, Flo, thank you very much. So as we wrap this up, guys, I always like to give every fighter the final word here. And since we started with you, Adam, we'll end with you for the thousands who will come into Barclays Center in Brooklyn to come see you, for the hundreds of thousands who will turn on Showtime July 30th. What can you guarantee that they're going to get when Adam Kownacki steps into the ring with Demirezen?
Well, they always see fireworks, right? I'm back. Can't wait to be back in Brooklyn, and make sure you tune in. If you can't be here, catch on show.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. Same thing for you, Rances Barthelemy. For the thousands who are going to pay their hard-earned money to come to that arena, for the thousands who are going to be watching on Showtime, what can you guarantee they're going to get when you take on Gary Antuanne Russell?
Bueno, para los miles que van a estar ahí en Brooklyn viéndote pelear, para los miles que van a estar viéndote pelear por la tele en Showtime, ¿qué puedes garantizar que va a pasar en tu pelea contra Gary Antuanne Russell?
Creo que nada, creo que por una cuestión de estilo, los estilos encajan. Gary es un peleador que le gusta intercambiar. Yo soy contragolpeador y creo que queda pintado para darle una gran pelea a toda la fanaticada, que se den cita, que no se la pierdan, que van a ver una gran pelea, que se van a quedar satisfechos de lo que van a ver el 30 de julio.
I guarantee that the fans that do come out to the fight, they're going to see an outstanding fight, and they're going to see a show because the styles, they clash perfectly. Gary is someone that comes forward, that likes to propose a very offensive kind of fighting style, while I'm more of a counter puncher. So that what they're going to see is kind of an art inside the ring, and they're not going to want to miss it.
I love it. It's even got you all choked up, Martine. And then finally for you, Mr. Gary Antuanne Russell, what can you guarantee the people that they're going to get on July 30th when you step into the ring with the former two-time world champion?
Showcase of excellence, fireworks, and a victorious night for me, as usual.
And I certainly wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you. You've stopped everyone you fought. Will you stop Rances Barthelemy as well?
And we keeping that train going. We're trying to keep that record unblemished right there. That KO record unblemished right there. We got to keep it going.
I love it. Fantastic. Fellas, it's been great. I certainly appreciate all of your time for being with us. And folks, there you have it. Again, tickets for the event, you can get them at SeatGeek.com, BarclaysCenter.com. Also, you can purchase them at the American Express box office at Barclays Center. The event is brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions. July 30th, Showtime Championship Boxing, back at Barclays Center. Brooklyn, Adam Kownacki, you know what he brings. Excitement in that heavyweight division. He's back. He's the co-main. And then in the opener at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific time, you've got the former two-division champion, Rances Barthelemy, taking on the unbeaten rising star at 140 pounds and Mr. Gary Antuanne Russell. It will be an explosive night on Showtime Championship Boxing. I'm Brian Custer. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you on July 30th in Brooklyn.